Welcome back to Sneaker Wall Stories. I'm your host, Ian Mann, and today we're finally diving into my top 10 sneakers of 2024. This list wasn't easy to put together, but I finally have it ready for you. Over time, I've dialed in my system for judging pairs. I look at storytelling, materials, personal connection, colors, and overall vibe. And since this series is called Sneaker Wall Stories, you already know that a great story behind the shoe gets you huge brownie points around here. First, before we get into the shoes, I want to quickly switch gears and show you the new Sneaker Wall Stories branding. I didn't love the previous shelf logo, so I had to go back to the drawing board and change things up a bit. Looking forward to getting this new logo printed on a hoodie. Before we dive into the top 10, let's take a quick look at some of the pairs that were this close to making the list.
We were on the verge of greatness. We were this close.
These runner-ups are in no particular order, they just didn't quite crack the top 10. Let's jump in. The first runner-up, we have the Nike SB Dunk Low Light Carbon. Now, I'm not usually big on this color combo, but somehow it just works. The suede on this pair is fantastic, and I really hope Nike keeps this trend of premium materials going, especially on these GRs. Next up, we have the Jordan Flight Who Decides War. I'm a sucker for when brands dig into the lesser seen silhouettes like the Jordan Flight, and the crew at Who Decides War crushed it with this one. From the intricate details on the shoe and the killer box design, they really went all out. And with a $115 retail price, it's a refreshing break from the sky-high prices we're used to seeing from Jordan Brand. Sadly, I think I blink and miss this drop on the Nike app, so this one stays in the runner-up category. Next up is the Adidas Unheard Of Building Bridges. The story behind this pair is easily one of the best of the year. I was lucky enough to grab a pair from the team when they dropped, and let me tell you, this collab hit all the right notes. Great storytelling, amazing packaging, and a meaningful charitable cause. This was actually my first pair of Adidas in the collection. Unfortunately, the rivalry low shape just doesn't do it for me, and that knocked this down a few spots. That said, Philip and his team at Unheard Of are storytelling wizards, and I'll keep an eye on everything they do moving forward. Up next is the Jordan 1 Retro Low OG Chinese New Year, Year of the Dragon. Every year I look forward to the Chinese New Year collection from Jordan Brand, and this pair did not disappoint. From the Dragon Scale box and all the fun CNY themed accessories were top tier. Plus, it's going to look amazing next to the Year of the Snake Jordan 1s coming out later this month. Last, but definitely not least, we have the New Balance 480 303 boards. A collaboration between 303 Skate Shop in Colorado and artist Jeremy Fish. This pair is just full of fun details with Jeremy's signature art style bringing the Silly Pink Bunnies theme to life. It's such a unique shoe and one of the most creative collabs of the year. As much as I love it, it didn't quite have the personal connection for me to break into the top 10. Alright, now that we've given those pair their flowers, it's time to get into the real heavy hitters. Let's jump into my top 10 sneakers of 2024. Alright, kicking off the list at number 10, we've got the ASICS Marvel Supervillains pack. And yes, I'm already cheating by picking an entire pack, but can you blame me? These were too good to choose just one. This collab between Kith, ASICS, and Marvel was a celebration of Marvel's 85th anniversary, and it delivered big time. Each pair in the pack was inspired by an iconic Marvel character: Spider-Man and Venom, Green Goblin, Silver Surfer, and Magneto. The level of detail here was next level, featuring custom printed insoles with character artwork, special packaging, and the best part, a rare comic book included with each pair. The comics were such a fun addition and really added an extra layer of excitement. You weren't just getting a pair of sneakers, you were getting a collector's item. The comic books even varied in rarity, which tapped into both sneaker culture and Marvel fandom perfectly. I'll admit, I was a little skeptical at first. I've never owned a pair of ASICS before, so I wasn't sure how I'd feel about them, but after seeing the details and the storytelling behind this collab, I was kicking myself for not going harder in the raffles. Let's keep it moving to number 9. Coming in at number 9, we have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adidas Superstar Shell Toe, a sneaker that takes me straight back to my childhood. This pair was released in March 2024 to celebrate TMNT's 40th anniversary. As someone who grew up a massive fan and an action figure collector, this one just had to make the list. Although this was another one I missed the raffle on, I guess I really need to step up my raffle game outside of the SB world. The design on these is so fun. The green tumbled leather upper is a nod to the turtle skin, while the shell toe is reimagined to look like, what else? An actual turtle shell. The 3 red stripe branding on the side ties it all together, and there are pizza-themed insoles and lace charm inspired by the turtle's masks, along with a fun ninja power detail on the tongue. Little touches like that really made this pair stand out. The packaging alone is enough to make these collectible. They came in an action figure-inspired box complete with exclusive TMNT comic book. This collab blends 2 icons, the Adidas Superstar silhouette and everyone's favorite turtle heroes. It's everything you could have ever wanted from a TMNT sneaker. Let's move the shell on to number 8. Coming in at number 8, we have the Nike SB Dunk Low Hyper Royal Malachite. This pair comes with the controversial Wild Pack, and while the pack had its share of opinions, I think Nike SB absolutely delivered with the materials. Every pair in the pack was great, but this one stood out the most to me. The full suede upper on this pair is premium and butter, and of course, the gum outsole. I'm always a sucker for gum outsoles. Still upset about the pair not including blue laces though. Even with the missing blue laces, this pair still holds its own in a year full of standout releases. Let's keep the momentum going and jump into number 7. Coming in at number 7, we have the Nike SB Dunk Low Escargot. This pair was released as part of the Olympic pack to celebrate the 2024 Olympics. While they didn't generate much hype and can still be found online at a discount, that doesn't take away from how clean and wearable this colorway is. I've always been a sucker for green sneakers, and this pair delivers on that. The combination of rich green tones with a gum sole is an instant win for me. I loved all the small details on this pair, from the plate embellishments to the metal aglets on the laces. They gave the shoe just enough personality to stand out without being over the top. Even though it's not the most sought-after release, I think that's part of what makes it special. It's one of those under-the-radar gems that you can actually grab and enjoy without fighting a wave of hype. Overall, it's a versatile, clean colorway with just the right amount of unique details to make it a standout for me. Let's see what's next at number 6. At number 6, we've got the Nike SB Dunk Low Alexis Sablone. This release was part of a special collaboration celebrating Alexis Sablone, a skateboarder, architect, and artist who brought her unique perspective to this design. They were released alongside a Converse pair, and there was even a double box that came with both sneakers. I wasn't lucky enough to grab the double box, but I did manage to get my hands on the Dunks, and I'm glad I did. I love the scaly details on this shoe, and with multiple shades of green, you already know that caught my eye. In addition, the wear-away design adds a whole new level of fun, revealing a pinkish purple color underneath as you break them in. Overall, this is just a great shoe, and I can't wait to see what Alexis does next. Now let's move on to my top 5. Coming in at number 5, we have the Jordan 3 Bicoastal, a collaboration between New York-based contemporary artist and painter Nina Chanel Abney. After her standout Jordan 2 collaboration in 2022, she's back to put her spin on the iconic Jordan 3, and she obviously crushed it. Surprise, we have another green shoe on the list. I know this is a super unpopular opinion, but I love how clean the Jordan 3 looks without the elephant print. Don't get me wrong, I get why people love it, it's iconic, but there's definitely something minimalistic about the vibe on this pair that just works for me. The shoe also features a reimagined version of the iconic Jumpman logo in Nina's signature style. As far as I'm aware, this is the first time Nike brand has allowed this to happen on a release, and that's huge. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to snag this pair for retail, but the incredible details on this design definitely keep them on my radar. This pair perfectly blends art and sneaker culture in a way that feels fresh and meaningful. Now let's jump to number 4. Moving on to number 4, we've got our final Nike SB Dunk of the list, the Nike SB Dunk Low City of Dreams. Another fantastic release in celebration of the 2024 Olympics, this pair delivers on so many levels. The colors are vibrant and perfectly balanced, and that marble outsole is absolutely incredible. This was my wife's number 1 pick from everything I picked up this year. Maybe next year I'll have her put together her own top 10 list for us. As someone who mainly collects SB, it was nice to see some variety on my list this year, but this pair definitely earns its spot. Let's keep the countdown going and check out my top 3. Coming in at number 3, we have the New Balance 480 Morale Mushroom, a collaboration between my local skate shop, Premier Skate. This pair is unique not just for its design, but also for its materials. It features leather made out of mushrooms. As a Midwesterner, morale mushroom season always feels like a signal that summer is near and we're finally done freezing our asses off after another brutal winter. This shoe captures that vibe perfectly. It's like a little reminder of the transition from cold to warmth, and I love how it ties that seasonal story together. This was actually my first ever New Balance pair, and I have to say I was really impressed. It's not a brand I've traditionally gone for, but the 480 model has definitely opened my eyes. Does this mean I'm officially dad status now? This collab is a perfect blend of storytelling, unique materials, and hometown pride. Let's keep it rolling, on to number 2. Coming in at number 2, we have the Jordan 1 Low Welcome to the Garden, a collaboration between Jason Tatum and Concepts. Let me start by saying, I hate this shoe. Hate that I couldn't get my hands on them, and I hate that they only released at Concepts in Boston. On a serious note, this pair is absolutely incredible. I love the floral designs and you guessed it, green. Unfortunately, this pair is pretty unattainable. As far as I know, they only came in a pack with the Tatum 3s and were exclusively released in Boston. So for now, it's going to remain on my list and not in my collection. It's really frustrating because Jordan Brand keeps dropping these amazing, extremely exclusive Jordan 1 Low player editions for their athletes, and I can't get my hands on any of them. With that, let's check out what's sitting at number 1. For our number 1 sneaker of 2024, we have the Jordan 4 RM Grandma's Driveway. This collaboration with BMX rider Nigel Sylvester checked every single box. Great story? Check. Unique silhouette? Check. Awesome collaboration? Check. Green? Of course, check. I'm not generally the biggest fan of the Jordan 4s, as they're a little bit too clunky for my liking, but this remix low top version is absolutely great. Nigel and the team really kicked it out of the park with this one. The standout feature for me is the Bike Air on the back heel, swapped out from the usual Nike Air. It's such a creative and personal touch that ties back to Nigel's BMX roots. Both the green and black pairs that Nigel released were fantastic. I'm also loving all the other Jordan 4 RM colors hitting the scene this year. Unfortunately, this is another pair I wasn't able to get my hands on, but as you know, we've got a strict no resale policy around here at Sneaker Wall Stories, so it remains on the wish list for now. That wraps up my top 10 sneakers of 2024. It was a pretty solid year overall with some incredible releases across all brands. I'm looking forward to what 2025 has in store. It's shaping up to be a fun year already. What were your favorite sneakers of 2024? Let me know your top 10 in the comments below. Thanks for lacing up with me today. Peace.